Are you tired of investment that offers limited growth and no returns? This is the right time to make more money with the little you have. Introducing ALSAF HUB, the new investment platform designed for the modern investor.
Hello and welcome back to Everything Gunners. This video is proudly sponsored by ALSAF HUB, an investment company designed for modern investors.
ALSAF HUB, you can invest in any of the 6 investments to make more money. You earn 20% profit at the end of every month from the beginning of your investment subscription for 5 months, and at the end of the 6 months, you can withdraw your profit.
On today's podcast, we have a special guest, an ex-footballer and Aftv presenter, Sesuji Thomas, who will be joining us soon.
Wow, good morning.
You okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Good.
So, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about the match? The dust has settled.
The match, what, yesterday? No, not even yesterday. 2 days ago.
Yes, definitely.
How am I mean, as an Arsenal fan, how am I feeling? It was a tough one to take, as you can imagine. I know you guys are big, long Arsenal fans as well. It was a tough one because, listen, we went up there, me, Robbie, Lee, Julian, all together, and they were very optimistic. They were very optimistic and saying, and is it optimism? I mean, Arsenal being in great form, and Robbie kept reminding me, you know, we only lost 3 games this season, and come on, and I believe in this side, I do, but I kind of was a bit pessimistic in the sense that I predicted a draw. I know how good City have been so far, so I didn't expect us to go there and blow them away. And obviously, but I did expect better than what we saw against City. I'll tell you that I was actually quite stunned by how just poor Arsenal were, in a sense that they were hiding. They were playing scared.
Exactly, the likes of Saka, Martinelli.
Yeah, exactly. Martinelli, Saka not getting on the ball, people in the midfield hiding. I was very disappointed, and now I still feel I'm hurt because we had so much belief for so long. And yes, we still believe, and things can happen in football, but it's looking like now that, you know, it's City's tough to lose. So yeah, man, I've recovered from how I felt straight after the game.
Because it was something we were somehow expecting, so it was easy for us to recover from it, I guess. Because left to me, I watched the second half. I think Arteta needs to believe more in his squad, because he should have started Jorginho in place of Xhaka, and maybe removed Jesus and started Trossard something, because I think the second half we played better with the substitution that he made.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's when once the subs come on, once Reece Nelson come on, I think Reece Nelson was the standout in coming on off the bench. And in hindsight, you can say, you know, maybe started Jorginho and Trossard. I think going forward, and I know this was one of the questions, I think going forward is that's what needs to happen, because I'm now worried that we're going to fall into the same mindset that we had last season when we missed out on top 4. And once that one bad result happens, it sticks in a player's memory, and you mull over it, and that can be dangerous for this team wanting to crack on and try and win every game. I feel like we can get caught in a rut. So I think Mikel Arteta now needs to change up the side a little bit, re-infuse the players that haven't been playing of recent, make sure they go in and put in a performance, because that's what you need to do. You need to now step up and take the end of the season in the right step, instead of mulling over what happened at City and then going into a downward spiral. So that's what I think needs to happen going forward.
Yeah, so how was the reaction from the fans that went to watch the match? Like,
the reaction from the fans, obviously, I was with them throughout the whole day. Myself, Robbie, like I mentioned before, Julian and Lee, we went up there really early in Man City, and the mood from the City fans, they were very confident and arrogant. That was very annoying, I must say. But fair play.
Fans, though, I don't like this, like the chant and all of that.
Yeah. Obviously, the City fans were confident. The Arsenal fans before, they were just excited for the game. I think a lot of people realise this is the biggest game of the Premier League season. They call it the Premier League final, and the Arsenal fans were excited. The City fans seemed a bit more confident, and like I said, you can't really not blame them. They're on course for a treble this season. But after the game, there was a lot of dejection, and understandably, people were upset, and like we said, the game and the players, it didn't seem like they were I don't want to say they weren't up for it. Everyone's up for a football match, but they just seemed like like I said, they were scared. They were playing scared throughout. It didn't seem like they were ready for this big game. You could see the experience from Pep and the City players, but you could see the inexperience from the Arsenal players. But the fans were upset, but they kept mentioning how proud they were of this Arsenal side. And I think that was the key message I took from the fans on Wednesday, was the fact that everyone's just proud of how far we've come. Some people may say that as, oh, you're dropping the standards, but you can't say that. We've been top of the Premier League for 33 weeks. Like, look how far we've come this season. Look at the progress from last season, and that was the main message. A lot of fans were proud. Yeah, and it's a young squad. Exactly that. It's a young squad with a young manager.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what do you think? Why do you think the players were hiding in the match? Because I still don't understand it. We've touched it a bit, but I don't just understand. Like, the experienced players, even Chaka didn't show the match. Zinchenko was not useful for the reason we bought him.
Yeah, so you make a good point, because with my thing, yeah, I spoke about this in the week actually. The experienced players for Arsenal, listen, they've done well this season so far, but it always seems like we rely on our young players so much. And even, don't get me wrong, Saka and the young players like Martinelli and that didn't have the greatest of games. Reece Nelson come on, young player, done really well. But the experienced players, the likes of Rob Holding, the Xhakas and the Zinchenkos, who's been in these positions and title challenges, Jesus, they kind of just, they really hid. And that is a problem. What I think it's down to, the hiding, there's not really a specific answer for it, but it didn't start here. It started against the dropping points at West Ham. It started at the dropping points at Southampton. That's where, for me, is where it kind of all imploded. So because of those draws, we could bring in Liverpool as well, but I'll be honest, I was proud of that Liverpool performance. We got away with actually not losing the game in the end. Obviously, Salah missed a penalty and whatnot. So the other two draws, I think, is where it started. Because of those, it amounted more pressure on this Arsenal team coming to Man City. And because of that, I feel like the players felt that pressure. Yes, they've been getting through hurdles all season, but this was the everything. This was the penultimate game. It wasn't the penultimate game. Obviously, it was a few games before, but this was the big game that everyone had their eyes on. So that's where I think players felt that pressure, and they couldn't handle it. And look, we've had, like I said, we've got through hurdles all season, but City have been here before. This is what they're used to. Against Liverpool, they've been doing this for seasons, coming down to the business end and stepping up. And yeah, and it just prevailed. It just prevailed. And I think Mikel Arteta went into this game and said, look, we're not going to change the way we play. We're going to stick with the back four. We're going to put Holding in there. And in my opinion, I feel like that was naive. I think Pep, he did the brilliance in changing up. He was actually playing for Arsenal. He changed up the team to stop the threats. He stopped Saka by putting, I think Walker was there. He stopped it. Well, he put Akanji there. Sorry, he had Walker with Martinelli on that side or the other side. Apologies. But yeah, that was what they did. They prepared for Arsenal. We didn't do that. We thought what we've been doing all season would be able to overcome Man City, and unfortunately that didn't work. And obviously having Saliba on the side, exactly. And I don't want to just say it's Saliba's. It was down to Saliba why we lost the game. No, of course not. But Gabriel was getting angry with Rob Holding at times. I think Ramsdale at times, he didn't look to play out from the back as much. We went long the most I've ever seen because he didn't have the confidence, I believe, in Rob Holding standing in front of him. So there was many factors, but City are just in great form right now, and they were the better side.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What do you think Arteta needs to do for us to go back to winning ways against Chelsea?
Yeah, so to go back to winning ways against Chelsea, my guys, I think it's very simple. He has to make some changes. I said it at the beginning of this interview. I said, listen, he needs to reinfuse these players, get them remotivated, and like I said, they're going to be in a rut. Listen, I have some people. I have some inside connects to some of the Arsenal people. And I know last year when they lost to Newcastle, it really affected the team. Really did. So I can imagine they're kind of going through the same sort of feelings after what happened at City. So for me, Arteta's going to have to, this is where you become a manager, this is where that manager earns his money, even though he's done so well so far this season. This is where he really earns his credit by getting his players remotivated and back into winning ways of how we were near the start of the season or midway through the season. And that is by making some changes. Reece Nelson deserves a start. I don't care, since he's come on and featured in this Arsenal side, whether it's in his small appearances, he's done really well. I believe he deserves a start. Trossard, listen, Jesus is a phenomenal player, one of my favourites. But Trossard, again, I believe he earns a start. So I'd put him in there as well. Would I change the back line? I don't really know. Would you see a Kivior in there? This is questions that Mikel Arteta will know more than me. I don't think Chelsea are a massive threat of what we've seen them obviously so far this season, but they've got good players and it's a London derby. And if I'm honest,
they're very vulnerable to counter attacks, and that they're very good at that.
Exactly, they've got good counter-attacking ability, and right now Arsenal they're going to be emotionally drained. So I'm not. People would expect me to be massively confident come Chelsea, expect to bounce back, but I'm actually very, very fearful of this game. So it's down to Mikel Arteta to make small changes and bring in players that are ready, up, willing, and wanting to get on the ball and confident.
Because we can't afford to play like an emotional game with Chelsea at the moment because we're emotionally drained, like you said. It's going to be a difficult game to play if we go the emotional way.
Yeah, exactly that. I think that's very key. I think Thierry Henry, they spoke about it, and it was going around in the media about Arsenal being too emotional, and at first I just thought it was tabloids and media just chatting rubbish. All season they're trying to, you know how they've been. They're trying to just say excuses and say, oh, you're this, you're that. But when it comes to going into a title charge and a defeat against City, and you realise, oh no, we're losing it here. The emotions can get the best of you. No matter what you say, it's going to be difficult. So it's something I do worry about. And yeah, they need to overcome it coming against Chelsea on Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely. Now that we have booked our place in Champions League, how does it feel to be back after 6 years?
In the Champions League. I mean, it's done now, isn't it? Yeah, it's mathematically done. We are, yeah. No, it is. I'm sure it is. So I can speak on this. Listen, I'm a shameless fan. I like to live life with smiles and enjoy things. So being back in the Champions League, hearing that music, the champions, I can't wait. Champions League nights at the Emirates is going to be amazing. Do you know what? I'll keep it 100, yeah. I enjoyed the Europa League trips through AFTV and with the Arsenal fans. I've really enjoyed them. I had some amazing times with Lee. So to now add that with the Champions League, honestly, I can't wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be super.
To the Benebaus and all.
Yeah, all of that. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
I think with good transfer window in the summer, I think we have a chance because I think the Champions League is not as competitive as then when we left it.
Yeah. Listen, my thing is, look, the Champions League, first time back in 6 years, my expectations will be low, I'll be honest, because I want to be surprised. I don't want to be too... I'm not an Arsenal fan. Listen, I'm a shameless Arsenal fan, but I'm not going to be the one that's going to be like, we're going to go there and win the Champions League first year in. Of course not. But we're going to need to strengthen in the summer. I see us winning a trophy this next season, by the way. I don't know what trophy. So people that are watching and may think, oh, here he is. You know, he thinks... I think we'll win... In my mind, the natural progression is picking up a trophy next season after you've competed for the Premier League and being top of the Premier League for 33 weeks. I think the next progression is winning some sort of trophy. It could be any trophy, but we strengthen in summer. I'm excited. I don't know how far we'll get in the Champions League, but this Arsenal side deserve it. The young players deserve it. What they've overcome and what they've done in this season. Mikel Arteta deserves it as well. What he's done as a manager, incredible. First professional job. Honestly, unbelievable. Young, changed the culture of a club, got a blueprint set in, brought the fans close, so he deserves it. And I feel like it's going to be lovely seeing us back in the Champions League. Honestly, I can't wait.
Where do you think we need to strengthen?
Good question. Where do we need to strengthen? Now, many places personally. Two midfielders, whether that's a 6 or a 6 and an 8. 6 and 8. We need 2 midfielders. That's me being greedy, but I feel like we have a right to be greedy because the Kroenkes have been spending. Fair play to them; they have been spending. We don't want to see this blinded success of us being not success, but blinded progress of us being top of the Premier League for so long, and then we just get comfortable with that, and the club think, "Oh, this is fine. We're back in Champions League now. We've got that money, and this is going to continue." No, you have to build on this. You have to continue building. Exactly. That's how you stay where you are. So 2 midfielders for me is priority. Then a striker.
Very important.
Definitely a striker. Now everyone listen, I speak to fans day in, day out, and everyone's like, we need a big, ugly striker. big, strong, physical, a different type of
Played
striker.
against Southampton, we should have won that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Missed chances too much.
Exactly. Now, I just think with this though, I agree with them, but I feel like Mikel Arteta, it feels like I don't feel like he'll go for a big, different style striker. I think he'll bring in a striker, a goal scorer, but I feel like he'll stick to, because like Pep's just changing all the time. He played without a striker, false nine.
Yeah.
Changed the culture in the Premier League. Won the Premier League doing it. A genius. Then he went, no, now I want a big ugly striker. And I feel like, I don't know if Mikel Arteta is going to do the thing of, well, it feels like we're just following Pep if we go for a big striker. I feel like he'll get a striker in that scores goals, but more to the style of this Arsenal side, a nippy, skillful, technical goal scorer. I don't really know who that is right now that comes to mind, but I don't know if he'll go for the Haaland type striker, because I feel like we're just following Pep in his shadow all the time. So, but we need a new striker. And then whether that's bringing in Balogun back, actually, even that and progressing on him, that might be a thing. And then we need a cover, which you guys are probably will know. We need a cover for Saliba. Rob Holding, for me, it's time. Yeah, it's time to move on from Rob Holding. No disrespect, he's been a great servant of the club, alongside Mohamed El Neni, probably the longest serving. But it's time to move on. So a cover for William Saliba.
Well, we hope that we don't face that Leicester season where they're going into the top four, entering the top four, and then go all the way down again. What they call it, challenging for relegation or whatever. We want a situation where we challenge for Premier League, and then we go on to win the Premier League or the Champions League, just like Liverpool.
Well, that's it. That's what we need to do. And the thing that's difficult is clubs are getting richer. That's the worry. Clubs are getting richer. Countries are buying clubs, and we can easily slip. I have to give massive credit to Mikel Arteta, because he's done talent ID so well and getting players for good prices, players that we don't expect to be this good, and they've done so well. But going forward, the Cronkies are rich. Like, you need to now show your worth, and that doesn't mean just buying useless players, but continue to keep on the level of the other clubs that are getting richer owners. You've got the money, just stay in the conversation by giving the club what it needs. So yeah, it's imperative.
That's good. That's important.